Hello and welcome. My name is Donna Burnett. I'm the director of the AEOP Apprenticeships and Fellowships Administrative Office at RIT. If you are looking for the first of the series of webinars offered by the Apprenticeships and Fellowships this summer, you're in the right place. All right. Well, everybody, today's going to be super exciting. I am so glad you chose to join us. Today, we're going to have a welcome, resources and expectations, a whole overview of the AEOP Apprenticeships and Fellowships program. I have 13 special guests here to speak with you today. I think you're going to walk away more knowledgeable about what the AEOP is, what opportunities await you, and hopefully more connected. So, while we're in the session today, please do not hesitate to use the chat for informal communication. And if you have questions that you'd like to go to the speakers, please use the question and answer function, so the Q&A function. I have two folks on the team, Heather Storty and Britt Malazzo, who are moderating the Q&A and the chat. So they will be sure to put things forward as questions arise. And they will go ahead and in between speakers, if there's a pertinent question, they will interrupt with that question. Otherwise, we'll leave about 15 minutes at the end as an open discussion time. Okay, so with that, I'm very excited to have you. This is a webinar that will be recorded for use on our YouTube channel. So the AEOP YouTube channel, I hope that you'll take a look at it. And we also intend to use it for future educational purposes. All right, so I'm Donna Burnett, as I said before, for those who just joined me. Again, I'm the administrator. I'm the director of the administration team here at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Many of you involved with the apprenticeships and fellowships have interacted with RIT in probably more than one way, most likely for stipend and onboarding or the application process. We're really happy to connect with you in a more meaningful way through these webinars, and we hope that you'll reach out to our office for additional supports. So I'm going to get started today by saying this summer, we have 463 apprentices and fellows affiliated with the AEOP working in labs across the country. So these apprentices and fellows are doing hands-on research at university laboratories as well as Army research laboratories and facilities. So what I'd like to do is, if you are a high school apprentice, can you please say hi in the chat? What about the undergraduates? Maybe all graduate students? Well, I'm just happy to have you here today. So please, again, do not hesitate to get interactive in the chat and use the Q&A feature. We really would like to talk with you today. Okay, so I'm going to start today by introducing our first speaker, and that is Mr. Brian Leftridge. And Mr. Leftridge is the Deputy AEOP Cooperative Agreement Manager for the U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command. Brian?
Welcome, everyone who's able to join today. I'm super excited to be a part of this. This is something that we have been wanting to pull together for a very long time, and just so glad that Donna and the team at RIT have been able to put it together for us and really for all the students participating in our apprenticeship experiences this summer. So just congratulations on being selected and being a part of our family here at AEOP, and congratulations on your STEM journeys, because I know they've started a while ago and they're not finished yet. I just want to say quickly why the Army is so invested in STEM education and these type of experiences. Hopefully you all know, but maybe you don't. The Army and the DoD are the leading S&T employer in the world. The Army is involved in probably just about every aspect of research you can think of. Obviously, right, all of it is going to support our warfighter, but a good majority of it is also to benefit us as a nation and our society. You can Google, you can Wikipedia, you can YouTube, some of the different inventions and advancements in science and technology that started as a military effort and has now become part of our everyday lives as civilians. GPS, cell phones, super glue, even the super soaker, right, has kind of began somewhere in a Department of Defense angled research. So as you all go through and complete your experiences, I hope you gain a lot of insight, think of yourselves as a select few. Not many folks get to do the type of research that you are getting to engage with. We hope that you stay connected with AEOP through the different avenues here over your summer with your experiences, but also with our alumni group and with RIT and with our website, with the other opportunities that we have to offer. And as a slight little advertisement there, as you continue on in your careers and in your journeys, keep in mind opportunities such as the SMART program, which I'm sure you'll hear about. If not today, I'm sure you'll hear about it through this apprenticeship experience. There are many positive things out there for you all to get engaged with and stay connected to what we're doing. And we're just so happy to have you here. And I am excited to hear from the rest of the speakers. So thanks, Donna.
Thank you, Brian. So as Brian mentioned, there are a lot of resources available to you as an AEOP apprentice or fellow within this community. So today we plan to showcase several of those for you. Now we have folks are participating from the high school to the fellow levels. So you're going to see these coming in at all different angles. So just be patient. I know we're going to get to something that's pertinent to your career pathway. So with that, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Andrea Melania. She's from the National Science Teaching Association. She's going to speak to you about the Junior Science and Humanities Symposium for high school students. Andrea?
Great. Thank you, Donna, for that introduction. As Donna mentioned, I'm Andrea Melania. I am the project manager for the Junior Science and Humanities Symposium, which we just affectionately call JSHS. JSHS is an amazing program that is open to high school students, no matter where the high school students are living or what type of school you may be attending. So you may be asking yourself, what is JSHS? JSHS is a program that gives students like yourselves the opportunity to compete with your individual STEM research for university scholarships. Students conduct research, and this can be done during the summer, during the school year, through your school, at home, in a lab, or in an apprenticeship or internship program. In fact, you can use the work you're doing this summer as the basis for your JSHS submission. After you conduct your research, you write up your findings and present those as part of the JSHS competition. This is an annual competition and our registrations open in the fall, so typically in the October through December time range. And our regional events are always in January and February. They do differ on dates depending on where you live. And our national event is held in April. JSHS participants are provided the opportunity to compete and win regional and national scholarships. Each of our 49 regions award 3 scholarships totaling $4,500. And at our national event, students compete for 24 scholarships. That's a first, second, and third place in each of 8 different STEM categories, totaling over $190,000 that are available at the national event, as well as other cash prizes. Our top 5 finalists from each of our regional events are invited to compete at our national JSHS events. And this is an all expense paid trip, so it's an awesome opportunity. In addition, JSHS in general is an incredible opportunity for you to meet like-minded students, learn more about STEM, work on your individual research, and engage with Department of Defense STEM personnel to learn more about current and future STEM opportunities. I encourage you to look more into JSHS. You can go to our website, www.jshs.org, where you'll find a lot more detail, as well as additional resources we offer, such as a free online mentorship platform. This is also where the links will be available to register for your regional JSHS event once they become live. With that, I want to thank you again for allowing me to give you this brief, high-level overview of JSHS and allowing me to showcase this program and the opportunities available to our high school students here today. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Andrea, and thank you for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for your patience for the videos. Heather's our tech guru, and she is working on that in the background. So hopefully we'll get everybody's face on the screen before we end today. So I do want to point out that I posted the link to JSHS in the chat, and this is going to be something we'll really be promoting this year among our high school apprentices. So high school apprentices, there are regional JSH events there are 50 of them throughout the nation, and there's even a virtual event. So think about how you can turn the research you're doing through your apprenticeship into a JSHS submission. And we want to help you do that. For our upper level students, our undergraduate and graduate students and our postdocs, you can get involved with JSHS also as a volunteer judge, as a mentor for students. This is a great opportunity to connect back and help raise up the next generation of STEM practitioners. So thank you for being part of our presentation today, Andrea. So the next person I'm going to go to is going to be Ivory Cheney. So Ivory, let me see, I have your description right over here. Your official title, which you know more than I do. So Ivory is an education outreach program manager for the Army Research Laboratory at the Army Research Office. Ivory is a dear colleague of mine. She administers many of the apprenticeships at university sites that are affiliated with the Army Research Office. So Ivory's going to talk to us today about the SMART program and the ENDISEG program, and props for Heather for figuring out the video command. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. Like Donna said, I'm Ivory Cheney. I work for the Army Research Laboratories, Army Research Office, and I do work with many of the speakers on the panel today. And like she said, I provide apprenticeships for high school and undergraduates for universities throughout the U.S. and its territories. Today, however, I am here to tell you about the Department of Defense Science, Mathematics, and Research Transformation for Research for Transformation, or SMART Scholarship, and the National Defense Science and Engineering Graduate Fellowship, or the INDISEG Fellowship. The SMART Fellowship or Scholarship is funded by the Department of Defense and is an educational and workforce development opportunity for students in STEM. SMART offers scholarships at the undergraduate, master's, and doctoral level in one of any 24 STEM disciplines. So some of the benefits of the award include full tuition to any U.S. accredited college or university, an annual stipend between $30,000 to $46,000 a year, depending on your degree level, summer internships with the mentor, health insurance, and book allowance. And you will receive civilian employment placement with the DoD upon graduation. And you can apply for SMART coming up soon, August 1st to December 1st, and to learn more about the opportunity and to see if you're eligible for the program. And I will drop that link. Donna dropped the link in the chat for you all. And next is the National Defense Science and Engineering Graduate Fellowship. And that is designed to help U.S. citizens and nationals of the U.S. who wish to obtain a PhD in disciplines that are of interest to military importance. And those are also in STEM fields. And unlike SMART program, there is no requirement for civilian service after your tenure of the fellowship. The fellowship is sponsored by the Office of the Secretary of Defense and is managed by the Army, Navy, Air Force, and our Space Force sister. Some of the benefits of the INDISEG Fellowship include full tuition for 3 years at any U.S. accredited college or university, a monthly stipend of $3,400 a month for while you're enrolled, health insurance, travel allowance, a DoD mentor, and a class conference to showcase your research. You can apply for the INDISEG Fellowship starting in August as well through December, and you can learn more about that by visiting www.indiseg.org, and I will put that in the chat for us, and to determine your eligibility. If you have any questions, please let me know. And high school students, you can apply for SMART too. One of the other great things about the SMART Fellowship is you can use it over and over again. You can get your bachelor's, then your master's, and then your PhD for SMART, and you can use INDISEG with it. So those are two great programs if you're looking to continue your education. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivory. I really appreciate that. So I hope you're paying attention because we are showing it to you. Fireworks are going off here with opportunities. So you tonight, when someone asks you, what'd you do today? What'd you learn? Please tell them you learned about SMART and INDISEG. If you're not eligible from them now because you're a fellow, maybe this is something that your future students are going to take advantage of. So we do have a current Smart Scholar that's on the call with us today who will be wrapping up our talk. So there's going to be great opportunities to ask her questions. And she's also an AEOP Apprenticeships alumni. So that's an exciting connection. So you've heard a lot about the AEOP, but I want to really hit it home that the Army Educational Outreach Program is a whole portfolio of opportunities that are intended to create the next generation of the STEM workforce for our nation. So we're in this world to change this world with STEM, and we're connected with each other. So I really enjoy being here with you today and connecting you with some of my colleagues who work to facilitate other AEOP initiatives. Just like the AEOP initiatives, there are also a ton of Department of Defense STEM initiatives. You know, our team, we just want you to keep going. We want you to find your STEM career. We want you to do something even STEM adjacent because it builds us for the better. So we are not competing. We are here promoting each other and promoting the network and giving you the opportunities because we don't want to leave any opportunities on the table. So if you have questions today, please do not hesitate to use the Q&A feature or drop a comment informally in the chat and we'll get to your questions. So the next thing I want to introduce you to is I'm going to introduce you to the director of the AEOP Consortium out of Battelle Memorial Institute, and that is Dr. David Burns. He's the Director of Education Operations at Battelle and the Director of the AEOP Consortium. And he's going to talk to you about the Travel Fund. Thank you, David.
Thank you, and good afternoon, all. Honestly, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's got a really, really technical name. It's the Army Education Outreach Program Technical Symposium Travel Award. But what it is we give you guys money to go show how smart you are across the country. And it's a little known fund, and we would like to see it used more, because the more that you get out into the world and show them how brilliant you are, the more we take credit for you. And we say, boy, you guys are really smart and we're the reason why. The award itself is designed to encourage AEOP program participants and alumni. So if you've ever participated in a program, whether you're participating now or an alumni, we want you to engage in scientific meetings, technical symposiums to expand your research and to present what you have done to the world. The award information, the Travel Award, is to support your present research at a professional technical symposia. The amount of the award is based on the expenses incurred. Again, everybody who's eligible, current alumni and alumni participants, are encouraged to apply for this. If you've got a poster, if you've got a paper, if you've got any STEM related research that you want to get out into the world, this travel award is for you. What does the travel award pay for? It's registration fees for the conference, travel fees, whether that be plane, train, automobile, lodging. And now, of course, because this is an Army, we have to say the food and lodging is governmental restricted as to what are the per diems, but it's a pretty generous per diem. I know we have some high schoolers on this. Just so you know, any minors under the age of 18, travel expenses will be covered for not only the presenter, but a parent/guardian would be also included in this. The requirements to do this, other than the eligibility, you're supposed to submit a brief summary about the conference experience. We review each one of these. Awardees are expected to give some credit to AEOP during their presentation and promote AEOP wherever possible. But you just do a brief summary. You also need a letter of support from whether it be the research engineer or scientist that you're working with to be able to support you. Sounds very governmental, but the application process is actually pretty easy. We review the criteria. And again, I really want to push this as much as I can. We love giving this money out. We love the fact that you guys are going out in the world and presenting your brilliance. And the more we can pay for it, the better off. And as Donna knows, with the Army, I rarely say that, but with this particular award, we want to get you out in the world and we want you to show off just how smart you are. And of course, again, we'll take credit for it. We will put questions, we will take any kind of questions and links to how to apply as you go further, but we are available to you and we want you to use this funding. Thank you, Don.
Oh, thank you, David. And yes, we really, really want you to use this funding. Leave no opportunity on the table. The sky is the limit. You just need to chase down those opportunities. So speaking of opportunities, the next person I'd like to introduce is Dr. Gregory Stone. He is the Director of Membership for the AEOP. So what is membership, you ask? Well, Gregory's about to tell you.
Thanks, Donna. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I wanted to congratulate all of you on your apprenticeships. It's a remarkable accomplishment to become part of the apprenticeships, and so I wanted to congratulate you here. As the Director of Membership and the AEOP Alumni Association, I wanted to say a few words about our fantastic group of members and alumni, including yourself. Over the past several years, we've been working to create an association that brings value to its members. You are our members. You are AEOP. We have this wonderful family of programs, but at the heart of AEOP are people just like you. If this is your first AEOP program and apprenticeships, welcome aboard. If this is your fourth or fifth and you've gone through many other AEOP programs, welcome back again. Our hope, my hope, and the AEOP's hope is that we can create a dynamic, fun, and meaningful experience for alumni and members beyond the programs. The programs are just fantastic and amazing, and we are trying to create something that is extra programmatic. What do we do and what do we offer? Well, here's just a taste of it. We have a webinar series called Profiles in STEM, which introduces you all to some of the amazing careers and amazing STEM professionals within those careers. So you get to hear directly from these professionals in their jobs, what they like, how they got there, and a lot of other information about the types of employment that are available for STEM graduates. We also have our annual awards that highlight the accomplishments of several AEOP alumni, including mentors and educators. By the way, nominations are now open, so if you know someone who we should honor at our annual awards, this will be the 6th annual award ceremony, nominations are now open. We also offer spotlight honors. Those come out every month for most people, and they highlight some of the breadth and depth of the areas in which our alumni and members are actually connecting. And those are just some amazing things that surprise me each month. We are now forming local alumni association affiliate groups all over the country. We've had several dozen meetings, and we encourage you to form a local AEOP Alumni Association chapter where you are. If you're interested in doing that, contact us after you finish your apprenticeships, and we will help you to establish that local connection. Visit with the local AEOP alumni in your area, get some coffee, talk about college admissions, applications, network for jobs, and much, much more. We want to make this as exciting and interesting as a grassroots effort can be. But after you finish your assistantship, if you want to engage in other leadership activities, come back to us again. You can be a leader in our alumni community. The AEOP Membership Council is made up of students and educators just like you. If you have a great idea to rev up our alumni association or membership with things that you'd like to see, please let us know, let me know, let our staff know, or better yet, join the AEOP Membership Council. Just like the awards, applications are now open for 2024, and you are all eligible to apply, either because you've completed a former AEOP program or another AEO program, or once you finish your assistantships. You're all eligible to apply. And with that brief introduction into what membership in the Alumni Association is doing, I would like to turn over more of the time to one of our top leaders within the council, who Donna will introduce now.
I think that Harish, I don't know if he's there. We haven't seen him join the group, so we'll keep an eye out for him and hopefully he'll join in because we do have some alumni coming at the end of the talk, so that's perfect. We're doing a lot of coordinating today with many people, so I just appreciate everybody being here and we're making it happen. So speaking of which, once again, I'm going to introduce Andrea Melania. She's going to speak to you about the JSHS, this time with a video.
Thanks again, Donna. I appreciate the opportunity to talk again because it is an important program with a lot of details, and I do have some slides that I was hoping to be able to share with you as well. So let's see if that will work for us, and I believe so. Yes, so thanks again. So again, JSHS is the Junior Science and Humanities Symposium. It is an amazing program that is open to high school students, and it doesn't matter where you live in the US territories, or at any of the DODEA schools worldwide. It is a program that gives students like yourselves in high school to compete with individual STEM research for university scholarships. Students conduct research, and this can be done during the summer, during your school year, or through your school, at home, like on your own, in a laboratory, or during an apprenticeship or internship program. And in fact, all of the high school students here that are in the AEOP apprenticeship program, like we mentioned before, and Donna also highlighted, has that opportunity to build upon what you're doing this summer to then submit that work for JSHS this coming fall. So after you conduct your research, you would write up your findings and present that as part of your JSHS competition. This is an annual competition, and students can compete for all 4 years they are in high school. And our registrations are open in the fall, which is typically October through December. And our regional events occur in January and February, and our national event is held in April. So JSHS participants are provided the opportunity to compete and win regional and national scholarships. Each of our 49 regions award 3 scholarships that total $4,500 each for first, second, and third place at each of our regions, as well as at our national event. Students then compete for 24 scholarships. That's a first, second, and third place in each of 8 different STEM categories, totaling over $190,000, as well as other cash prizes. Our top 5 finalists from each of our regional events do move on to the nationals, as they're invited to attend and compete and are provided an all-expense paid trip to the national event. JSHS is an incredible opportunity to meet like-minded students, learn more about STEM, work on your individual research, and as well as being able to engage with Department of Defense STEM personnel, where you get to learn about current and future STEM opportunities. I encourage you to look more into JSHS. It is a great program, and it's been for a long time. We're still getting ready to start our 62nd year. You can go to our website as listed on the page here, www.jshs.org, where you'll be able to find a lot more detail, as well as additional resources we offer, including a free mentoring platform. This is also where you'll find the links to be able to register in the fall once the events open and become live. And with that, I want to thank everybody again for listening to my talk once more. And thank you, Donna, for allowing me this opportunity.
Of course. Thank you again, Andrea. Well, it's perfect timing because we happen to also have our alumni speaker who's just jumped on, and he is an alumni of the JSHS and I believe the GEMS program. So it's a perfect segue. So with that, Harish, can you please join us?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and I apologize for the delay.
There you go.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm Harish. I'm very, very honored to be here. Thank you so much to the AEOP staff to be able to allow me to be here to share my experience with AEOP and all the amazing things that they've done for me in my journey. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So here's a little bit more about me. So currently, I'm a sophomore studying in VCU's Guaranteed Admission Program for medicine. So back when I was a middle schooler, I really was just trying to get an opportunity to be able to, have a STEM experience. And honestly, being a little bit naive and honestly just new to the world, AEOP gave me a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to participate in such an opportunity like GEMS. And at GEMS, that's where I got my first hands-on research experience. And I was able to understand what it's like to kind of experience like biotechnology and all these different techniques that I had no idea existed. And thanks to that, that really sparked my ambition in STEM. And that made me want to pursue an education at Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Tech. And when I applied and got in, that's when I got really interested in computational modeling and bioinformatics and getting really into like HIV. And then for AEOP gave me a huge spark and honestly a motivation for me to be able to pursue a STEM career. I wanted to kind of give back that opportunity to others. AEOP inspired me to find my 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Future Brighter, in which we provide free STEM education to STEM students across elementary schools, all for free. And because of that experience from AEOP, I was able to feel honored to be able to give back to other people around my community. And later on, that spark for interest, I was able to publish my research into a journal. And I've had my title right there. And I presented this work at the JSHS, which I later connected from my GEMS experience onto the AEOP JSHS experience. And that allowed me to build my confidence in my communication skills, build my confidence in my own research abilities. And later on, that gave me success because I was able to be selected as a top 300 Regeneron STS scholar. So thanks to all that and all this experience that AEOP provided me, providing me the confidence to grow, I was able to pursue my careers of pursuing medicine through VCU's Guaranteed Admission Program for medicine. And now I'm currently heavily involved in wet lab and bioinformatics research in cancer. So I've kind of transitioned my work from HIV research into cancer-based work. So a huge shout out to AEOP for providing me what a wonderful opportunity. And just a little bit more about these programs. So GEMS is a program that I would never have thought that I would have gotten to experience in 7th and 8th grade. And its mission is to be able to provide young students who might have not been thinking about pursuing maybe STEM or becoming a scientist or engineer a chance to experience such an opportunity. So I highly recommend, if you are interested in gaining some experience, I highly recommend you to take a look at the link and see if you might be interested in participating in GEMS, because it provided me that spark to move forward in my scientific career. And here is some more information. So you get to learn alongside college students. So students that are around maybe my age now, and I'm not sure if that's changed more so or not, but you get to experience those with a lot of hands-on experience with your field and be able to learn from their experiences on to the future and be able to learn more from them. So honestly, GEMS was a wonderful experience that I highly recommend you take a look at. And then next, let's go ahead and talk about JSHS. So this was my first time in 10th grade and 11th grade to be able to participate in a scientific research competition. So it allowed me to kind of think and reorganize my work and kind of enhance my communication skills. And with that, I was able to kind of get feedback on my research and kind of like build those sort of critical thinking skills into my work. And those skills can take a long, long way into the future for your professional development. So JSHS is held nationwide, so you can participate in it if you are interested, and I highly recommend you do so because you would be surprised how much it can benefit you. So there's also chances for you to further develop your career. You can qualify for scholarships and other recognition and be able to network and meet different people from different backgrounds and be able to build your career by meeting other people, which is something that is used all the time, every day in a scientific career or any career. So once again, I just wanted to say a big thank you to AEOP for giving me such a wonderful opportunity in my development. And I hope you're able to learn something from my journey with AEOP and you would be able to say similar things as I did. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harish. Thanks for joining us today. I know you're busy as a undergraduate to medical student. I hope that everybody here is seeing that the pathways are real, the opportunities are real. And even if you run into an obstacle, we're all here as a community of support to help you get to that next opportunity. All right, so with that, I'd like to introduce everybody to Casey Weiniger. He is a physical scientist and STEM program manager from the U.S. Army DevCom Chemical Biological Center at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. Casey?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Donna, for that introduction. As Donna said, my name is Casey Weiniger. I have been an Army scientist for just over 21 years and have been involved with AEOP programs for the last 8 years as part of my STEM outreach duties. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview as to what CBC, or the Chem Bio Center, is all about. We are the nation's primary research and development center for chemical and biological defense. Basically, we use our scientific and engineering know-how to make technology, gadgets that keep soldiers and our homeland safe from chem, bio, radiological, nuclear, and explosive threats. That's quite a mouthful. We're also the oldest continuously operating military lab, dating back to 1917, right around World War I. Because the threats to our nation are ever changing, it's vital that we stay on the cutting edge of technology. And in order to do that, we actively train and recruit new STEM professionals that have a wide range of skill sets. We have biologists, chemists, microbiologists, physicists, virologists, and every subspecialty of scientists represented at our center. In addition, because we turn our research into usable hardware, our team is also comprised of additive manufacturing specialists, 3D design experts, and chemical, mechanical, and electrical engineers. More and more, we're seeking students, interns, and new employees, not just with science or engineering backgrounds, but also a varied experience with coding, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Staff from all over our center work towards creating fully integrated hardware and systems, from the initial research all the way through prototyping, testing, software development, fielding, and then ultimately warfighter training on our tech. This is a very exciting time at CBC as we're developing new capabilities to support the Department of Defense. We're currently expanding our biotech facilities and workforce to support the manufacturing of chemical materials that are critical to the military and our national security. Our scientists are engineering microorganisms to produce a variety of materials that would typically be made from non-renewable resources like petroleum, or sourced from less than friendly countries to the United States. To accomplish our mission, we need a well-trained STEM workforce. CBC is committed to helping students along their paths towards a STEM career. We engage with students of all ages through our STEM outreach program. Personally, I typically see anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 students a year in local schools. In particular, AEOP apprenticeships have been a very successful tool for us to identify and recruit future employees by offering an unparalleled research experience to promising undergraduate and graduate students. Many of our AEOP apprentices have found full-time positions with the center or other Army labs, and a growing number have received further educational opportunities through the SMART Scholarship Program, which we were just discussing. So the question I often get asked by students is, should I pursue a STEM career? I'm a little biased, obviously. Absolutely. There's an ongoing shortage of STEM graduates. That trend is continuing, particularly in the engineering fields. So your skills will be in high demand. STEM careers, especially with the Army, allow you to do state-of-the-art work in very unique facilities with a group of some of the most talented and committed scientists and engineers in the country. Notably, at the Chem Bio Center, these are the same individuals that helped to rid the world of dangerous chemical weapons and who actively worked on the COVID vaccine development program known as Warp Speed. As a CBC employee, I take pride in working for an organization that has made huge contributions to the nation, and I hope you'll want to join us in your own STEM journey. And thank you for the time, Donna, for allowing us to describe what we do at the center. It's a little bit ambiguous at times. When people hear Chem Bio Center, they think we're just sort of one-sided, but we kind of do everything.
I know I want to sign up right now. I love this community. I love hearing about all the really interesting jobs that exist. The interdisciplinarity, the mission, the mission focus that brings in folks from all different backgrounds and intergenerationally to attack problems is just so fascinating. And to see this being done on behalf of our nation is something just incredibly powerful. So it's a real pleasure to hear from you today, Casey, and thank you for being a partner in this giant collaboration. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Debbie Black-Kahn. Dr. Black-Kahn, she's a STEM outreach program manager for the Army Research Laboratory. So Debbie?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Debbie Black-Kahn, social scientist and STEM outreach program manager at DEFCOM Army Research Laboratory in Adelphi, Maryland. I am so excited to be a part of the Army Educational Outreach Program Network, AEOP. Thank you so much for providing the opportunity. A little bit about ARL. At ARL, we provide enriching STEM outreach programs on site and within the community to ignite interest among students and educators from K-12 through postdoctorate studies. We aim to support national defense priorities and initiatives by advancing STEM education and careers, with hopes that one day you will come and work with us. Our outreach programs are designed to complement classroom learning by offering hands-on research experiences and the chance to interact with real live STEM professionals, those wonderful scientists, engineers, mathematicians that we hear so much about. We believe in fostering career exploration and mentorship, especially when faced with challenges in data collection and analysis. Yikes. This summer alone, ARL corporately is hosting 10 STEM outreach programs. Over 6 of them are hosted and promoted through Dome Educational Outreach Programs on-site at the lab. We will have over 200 students and cadets participating in the Summer Research and Development Program, which caters to high school, postdoctorate, and college students. Additionally, we will have over 300 to 400 middle school and high school students participating in the GEM summer program across the ARL enterprise, and teachers who are conducting research in the lab with our scientists and engineers to take back to their schools. Apart from research experiences, we are also proud to offer various professional development opportunities. Check this out. They include taking a deep dive into entrepreneurship, leadership skills, even help preparing you all for the graduate records exam, and much, much more. To conclude the summer experience at ARL, we will be hosting the Summer Student Symposium, where students and faculty researchers will highlight their research projects that they have been working on at the lab. So today, we honor you for taking pride in your future careers. And thank you, AOP, again, for the opportunity to speak with you. Have a wonderful summer.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for telling us a little bit more about ARL. And I think we all, share your feelings of pride towards our apprentices and fellows, and just a celebration of them being along these pathways. So next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Paul Maxwell. Dr. Maxwell is the Deputy Director of the Army Cyber Institute at the United States Military Academy. Dr. Maxwell?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. As mentioned, I'm Dr. Paul Maxwell. I'm the Deputy Director of the Army Cyber Institute and the Lab Coordinator for the United States Military Academy at West Point. For those of you who aren't familiar with West Point, it's the Army's university where we train and educate leaders of character to become Army officers and future leaders of the nation. We love AOP here. It gives us a great opportunity to, as faculty members who have chosen careers that impact young minds, the opportunity to further reach out to students to teach and mentor them through their careers. And then a little bit selfishly, as researchers, we get to tap into all these motivated, intelligent young minds who can help us amplify the effects of our research. And so at West Point, we have 13 academic departments and more than 20 research centers, of which the Cyber Institute is one of those. Though I work for the Cyber Institute, we have active research efforts using AOP students from high school all the way through postdoctoral candidates in areas such as our Robotics Research Center, where they're working on a capture the flag system that's attracted a lot of international attention. We also have folks doing research in biology, chemistry, environmental engineering, and of course, doing a little bit of artificial intelligence work for cybersecurity purposes. So we use a lot of AEOP interns, and we always look forward to them. And unlike some of the other locations, we also have opportunities year-round. So we almost always have a couple students in our labs doing various things, whether on-site or remote. So if you're interested in doing a variety of STEM research, please consider coming out to the military academy. Beautiful site. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Maxwell. It's wonderful to see some folks face to face. We're on a lot of calls together and we exchange a lot of paperwork, but we do it all to support this network. So next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Norton. He is a professor and director of Molecular and Biological Imaging Center at Marshall University and one of our cherished mentors of the university program.
It's just so wonderful to have excellent students come in during the summer. Wish we could keep them all year long because the summer's a pretty short time. And I know there's many wonderful students out there now. I thought I'd just overview some work that we're doing. We just heard about chem bio research related to sensing, detecting, and mitigating any kind of threats that there may be. We're interested in using gold as a plasmonic nanosensor. We all know that gold's a pretty conductive material. You can actually make antennas for light, and those antennas need to be pretty small. My research has always been in the area of microscopy. So we use 3 different kinds of microscopy, particularly atomic force microscopy, which Tricia has learned how to operate an AFM instantly, which is just an example of how wonderful the students are. We use scanning electron microscopy and optical scattering microscopy. The AFM can tell us how big these particles are. The particles have to be kind of small, like 1/4 the wavelength of light. This is about 100 nanometer particle. And gold we normally think of as looking kind of copperish or gold. This is the gold that we're talking about. It's blue in color because the particles are acting like an antenna that are receiving photons and are re-emitting those photons. And they encode information about the molecules that they've interacted with when you produce them. So these are scanning electron micrographs indicating that we're making triangular particles, but the optical properties are really what we're interested in. And the fact that each of these particles seems to be a different color is because the particles aren't the same size. So we're emphasizing trying to make these particles uniform so that they give us a more robust signal. Tricia, Leah, and now Nathan, who just started yesterday, are working on a microfluidic system to automate synthesis of these particles, because part of the reason why they're different from one particle to another is because every time you do the experiment or when you do the experiment, you're not exactly reproducing what you're doing. We hope by using microfluidics, which is a fairly new thing for our laboratory, we can improve synthesis of these particles. Really, again, so thankful to the AEOP for putting students in so many wonderful labs. Would be fine for anybody to contact us if they're interested in this kind of a project. I know you have many more researchers to discuss their research. Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Norton. I really appreciate your joining us today. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Jose Hernandez Villasez. I know I butchered your last name, but that doesn't mean I'm not really happy to have you here today. So please forgive me. So welcome. You're another one of our great mentors out of UTEP. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna. And thank you for the invitation. Hello, everyone. As Donna mentioned, my name is Jose Hernandez, and I am an assistant professor at the University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP. And let me share with you that I am a true believer in STEM education, as it prepares you guys and all of the students to identify problems and find solutions through critical thinking and creativity, right? Is it harder? Yes, it's harder, but if you put in the work, it's a very rewarding profession. And it's also worth mentioning that STEM occupations have a higher demand and median wage is about 60% higher than non-STEM occupations. And that is why here at UTEP, we are very proud to collaborate with the Army Outreach Program, as they allowed talented students like you to experience cutting-edge research in state-of-the-art facilities. This is the 3rd year we collaborate with this program. And let me tell you that we have had amazing high school students that remind me why I got into this profession. So thank you to the AEOP team. Here at UTEP, we are an analytical chemistry laboratory that works on different projects. Some of the students where we have AEOP students have worked on are the study of environmental implications of micro and nanoplastics. We have developed engineered nano-size fertilizers to improve crop yield. And we are also working with Los Alamos National Laboratory to develop a laser-induced spectrometer to identify the composition of unknown radioactive samples. using a technique named LEAPS. And our high school students have had hands-on experience with the state-of-the-art equipment and participate in the design of the experiments. We are looking forward to work with you. Be proactive, be curious, ask many questions, and enjoy this great opportunity. Thank you, Dora.
Thank you, Jose. It was great to hear from you today and to see your face. All right, so our last speaker today embodies the pipeline. So I'd like to introduce you to Julia O'Gorman. She is an alumni of the Apprenticeships program, and she is now a Smart Scholar. So I'll let her tell you her story very succinctly in her own words. Hi, Julia. So while Julia figures that out, I will give some closing announcements. I want to invite everybody to the remainder of our speaker series. We are meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock. We will have the series advertised over social media and over emails. Anybody who is officially an apprentice or fellow right now will get reminder emails. You are registered for the series. We will all have a lot of career talks as well as workshops and panels as we go through the summer. There are 3 things that are suggested for you to accomplish this summer. So those are to participate in, to attend as much as you can, or to watch on video the webinar series, to submit an abstract for your research at the end of the summer. We do compile all those in an abstract book. And also this year we're kicking off a learning hub. So we've developed a learning management system specifically for the Apprenticeships and Fellowships program. And we're going to offer a series of master classes within that system. And we challenge everybody to complete one of the master classes this summer. They're on topics such as personal brand management, navigating STEM careers. For our fellows, we have a project management masterclass, and these are high quality materials to help develop your soft skills. So while you're in the lab, you're getting all those technical skills, you're doing the networking, but here are some of those behind the scenes skill building that you need to really stand out as you go forward. And please, we also want you to lean into the team here at RIT. We're here for you. There are 2 outreach specialists, Miranda Salisbury and Kira McGinnis, that you have probably heard from by now. Do not hesitate to reach out to our office. We're here to answer questions, point you in the right direction, and really stand by you as you navigate your education and career pathway. So Julia, let's try this again.
Okay, sorry.
Got you.
My iPad didn't have permission to use my microphone for Zoom, but we used our STEM knowledge to fix it. So hi, I am Julia O'Gorman, as Miss Donna introduced, and I am a current Smart Scholar, but I didn't just, wake up one day and said, I'm going to join the Smart Scholarship program. Some people did. That was not me. Mine was a couple of years in the making. I started as a actually attempted high school apprentice. So I applied during 2020, which sort of messed things up a little bit. Oops. And so instead of going to a laboratory and working with a professor like a lot of you guys are doing, what we focused on that summer was building skills to write a lab report and the first webinar series. So I know Ms. Donna put a lot of effort into that, and that first webinar series was something that was really formative for me because it gave me a sample platter, because I kind of knew that I wanted to go into STEM, but I wasn't sure. But after that first year of seeing that webinar series, I was like, oh, there's so much I can do. Currently, I am studying mechanical engineering, so I am taking all my classes and stuff like that. But I know because of the webinar series, the breadth of stuff that I can sort of participate in as a mechanical engineer. And I really liked that option of being really flexible. I can be in the private sector or I can be in the government sector. I don't know if some of you noticed when I was answering the questions towards the Smart Scholarship stuff, but I've kind of heard the spiel a couple of times in a couple different webinar series on sort of the requirements for Smart Scholarships and stuff like that. And it's because I had repeated exposure to these are different options that you can take. I'm able to suggest it to my friends. I'm able to be here right now with all of y'all and sort of talk about that. I also So the way that it sort of worked was that I started as a high school apprentice. The year after that, I was a near peer mentor for the high school students. And that was really fun because I was able to give back to the AEOP community that sort of like kickstarted my like super interest in STEM. And I was then able again the next summer to be a near peer mentor and help sort of create some of the curriculum. And then this year, I wasn't able to be a near peer mentor, but that's because I am currently, you can't see because I have a background on me, but I am currently at Warner Robins Air Force Base, which is my sponsoring facility for my SMART program. Currently at base, there are over 1,400 interns from different programs, not just SMART, but not just the SMART program, but the PSIP and the PAC programs. Those are also other programs that are like service, scholarship to service programs like the SMART program. In my own building, there are 5 interns and 3 of us are SMART interns, but I also have a lot of mentors who are full-time who went through the full SMART program. So I'm able to see sort of the end of the SMART program as well as being sort of in the middle and the beginning part of the SMART program. So hopefully I'll be able to come back and talk a little bit more about all this stuff in another webinar. I'd be really excited to do that again. But yeah, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to use all of the links in the chat. But also, all of these things are really easy to look up on Google. They have a lot of YouTube videos, so I highly suggest to look into all of these programs that have been mentioned today. If you have any questions or want to know more, I think that's it.
So it's been a pleasure to get to know Julia over the years. And I remembered her after the first summer because she was the only student in our first webinar series who turned her camera on. So I knew Julia and then invited her back when she came back. And it's been a pleasure to watch you grow on your STEM journey and on your personal journey. And I just know, I remember the day you got your word on the SMART Award and how it changed your life and your family's life. So while these opportunities may seem small, just passing by, you know, Andrew talked about JSHS for just a few minutes. They can turn into $20,000 scholarships, or they could turn into school paid for and then a career laid out before you. You may decide that you want to work as a civilian for the government or a contractor or wherever you go, or maybe you want to enlist. You know, there's the sky is the limit for what you want to do, and we are a community of support to help you get there. So please reach out to AEOP Apprenticeships and Fellowships. You all have our contact information. Stay tuned for more webinars in our speaker series. We will be in contact over email. We will see you on Thursday. Hopefully some of you will be able to join us, and we look forward to supporting you along the way. And in future conversations, we will have more time for questions and answers. So I don't want to keep folks anymore, but if anybody's available to stay on, if there's any questions, I invite you to do so. But otherwise, I will say to everybody else, see you next time. Thanks for being here.